Hello, Libras. You know, I think it's good to keep in mind during this time that we've all been through a collective trauma. We're still going through a collective trauma, not just in terms of the disease, but also the economic and social chaos that has accompanied it. I hope that these strategies of how to heal and how to cope with these challenges help you, and also help others. I'm making one for each sun sign. All right, number 1, find strength in self-partnering. This is an important thing to embrace during any time, but I think especially during a time like this where a lot of people find themselves on their own. I know Libra friends, family members have really struggled with this. And I think that it's this is a great opportunity for all of us to grow in certain new ways, but I think especially for Libras, and even if you're not unemployed, even if you're not stuck in your house or apartment, and really having to face this challenge on like a 24/7 basis, either way, this is a time period that is quite isolating, where we find ourselves not being able to be around our loved ones as normally we are during holidays or just on a day-to-day basis. And so I think this brings this challenge to the foreground all the more so. It's really important to get through the fear of being on your own, and it's important to come to enjoy your own company. Again, during any time period, but especially during this time period where a lot of people, where really for all of us, we have to find our individual way through these challenges. Again, it's a collective thing, and collectively we'll solve these issues, these problems together, but it's also a deeply individual thing, and we each need to find our own way through it. So I think that this is a great opportunity for you to find just how strong you are, just how able you are, how capable to handle stress, to deal with things really calmly under pressure, and to be there for others in really powerful ways that really make all the difference. And again, you have this gift during any time period, but this is a great opportunity to express this all the more so, of how to be there for others. But again, first and foremost, you need to be there for yourself. The first relationship that really is the foundation for every relationship that as human beings we have in life is the relationship with self, and partner to that is the relationship to God, the universe, however you want to put it, that greater spiritual awareness as well. Even in a sense of, for an atheist, that greater, just something, cosmic consciousness, some kind of connection to something greater than ourselves that we're a part of, but is also all around us. I always like to say that is we're each drops in the infinite ocean of God, and that's an incredibly humbling and very empowering thing. So I think this is a great opportunity for you to go inwards and to appreciate your inner drop, while we are going through these waves in the cosmic collective of the ocean. I think it's really important too to not compulsively, I know some Libras during this time have really been focused on compulsively dating, having somebody new there, somebody just to have somebody. And again, that can be done in a really great, healthy way, but also, again, like I was saying, compulsive, that's a sign that it's really important for you to sit with yourself and to learn who you are and to sit with your own company, and to recognize that you don't need anybody else there for you to be complete at all. Number 2, stay on top of your self-care. This is, again, another challenge that we all face. But I think for Libras, this could be especially challenging because for 2 different reasons. Libras ruled by Venus, so pleasure, pleasure is very lovely. We all like pleasure. But during a time like this where there's pain, emotional pain, mental pain, physical pain, there can be that tendency of I need more sugar, I need more, fatty foods, I need more salt, I need more whatever. And that's not taking care of yourself. That's getting caught up in your mind, not uniting with your body. So that's a really good reason of why it's important to not only eat healthily, but also to work out, to make sure you're taking care of yourself through this time period. Make sure you're meditating, you're taking care of your mental well-being, also to calm yourself, to get rooted in the present moment and not get carried away with, oh, what if this or what if that or these different ideas or anything like that, to tame your thoughts. not to control them. We can never control, but we can guide them effectively if we take the time to take care of ourselves. Just like we can never really control our body, but we can guide it effectively if we take that time. I mean, we can guide our mind and our body and our heart so effectively that you might as well call it control. Long term, it makes beautiful things inevitable, and good health really inevitable too if we do it enough. Obviously, barring certain genetic things, but ultimately, we can guide it so effectively. So I think that's really important. Stay on top of your self-care. Don't let the stress get to you and lead to unhealthy manifestations. And keep in mind that there is going to be an end to this, so it's important that you feel good and you feel sexy and pretty, beautiful, handsome, after all this too, I mean, that's important during any time period, but I think especially after all this. Or rather, it's especially good to keep in mind, there will be an after all this. So yeah, not to just get caught up in that cycle, that downward spiral. Number 3, reach out to loved ones. You can still grow your relationships during this time, and through the unconventional ways to connect, you can actually grow them in new powerful ways. There's actually a lot of opportunities with technology to be able to connect one to the other during this time, and that's something that's really positive. And even though we have dead ends that can be stressful and frustrating, and legitimately, there are valid emotions of, damn it, we can't be around our loved ones for holidays or whatever it might be. There are other ways to connect that can actually be really interesting and really fun and really helpful for ourselves and others in our relationships. So I think it's good to stay in tune with that and to search for those ways, and to recognize that we can keep growing our relationships. We can still have our one-to-one connections, our group connections. We just have to look for different ways to be able to manage it. And I think something regular can be really helpful, like a online board game night each week or something like that, to help you to stay in connection with your friends, your family. And I think you'll find that there are actually some ways to express yourself digitally that we can't quite express in person. Of course, there are so many ways to express yourselves in person, and that too is important to find people that you can connect with in person deeply. But there are opportunities here if we're looking at it from the right angle with the right lens. And number 4, develop yourself intellectually, especially with a goal to make society better, more just, more fair, more socially vibrant, more beautiful if you're an artist, whatever it might be. This is a good opportunity to, this is especially for the Libras who are at home, whose lives have really been upended. But this really goes for all of us, because I think that the big challenge here for us as a collective is, how do we make society better? How do we make the human species better, the human experience better? How do we heal and process all of this mentally and emotionally? But also, how do we grow from here? How do we move forward from here? And I think that answering that question is a very uniquely individual thing. We each have our own unique ways to contribute to the collective. And I think that as a Libra in general, y'all are meant to be developing during this time. In those that's your specialty. How do I make society more fair, again, more beautiful? Different Libras will have different takes on this, but it's important to use this opportunity, this situation, as a motivation to push yourself forward more than ever, because humanity needs it more than ever. We really need to have a brighter future to look forward to. And as individuals, if we're crafting our brighter future to look forward to, and with a conscious sense of, this is how I can contribute to humanity, then we're doing our part, and humanity will have a much brighter future. And maybe with all this darkness, we'll actually be able to turn that future into an incredibly bright, light-filled experience. In fact, again, not maybe, if we focus enough, it becomes inevitable. We can guide that so effectively, so that becomes our future. So any tips, please, that you have for fellow Libras, or if you just need a vent or whatever, please use the comment section as a forum to be able to discuss ideas, what you're going through, and again, any advice that you have for other Libra, stuff that works for you, challenges that you're going through, whether you have solutions for it or not, please use this forum. I think you'll find that there's a really loving, really kind, and really thoughtful, humanistic community that generally watches these videos. And if you'd like to learn more about yourself or others, it's always a good opportunity. It's always a good time to seize the opportunity to learn more about ourselves and others. But I think especially during this time, it can be really helpful. So in May, my first volume of my astrological natal chart placement book series will be coming out. It's a ton of information. It's going to be about 150,000 words just for the sun, the rising, and the moon. It's about 4,000 to 6,000 words each, 4,000 minimum. And there's so much information here. So if you'd like to learn again more about yourself, you got the sun in Libra, of course, but also the sun house placement, just as important psychologically, the rising energy, the moon placement, and the moon house placement. And of course, you have those 5 different interpretations for every interpretation, for every energy. So you can learn so much about your loved ones too, and that can be really helpful. And so the information to buy that book is in the About section. And as always, also in the About section is how to get in contact with me to do readings. You've got this. You've got this. I know it's a deeply stressful time, but, again, with the darkness comes the opportunity to create even more light. With that stress, we can be motivated to really craft our intention and our focus and our goals for both our well-being and for the well-being of our loved ones, for humanity in general. There's so many opportunities if we just view everything from the right perspective. And of course, we need to face the negativity and the difficulty with that as well. We need to be willing to look at the challenges, but always with the viewpoint of there's a solution out there somewhere. If I don't have it yet, I'll figure it out. And in identifying and recognizing the challenge, then we can find that positive. By recognizing the negative, we can find the positive. Infinite love to you, my friends. Namaste. Peace.